Hey, what's up guys? This is Nathan again. I'm in my basement, got my lava lamp going, and we are playing Harvest Moon for Super Nintendo. Now remember, for this game we are going to try to get a Ranch Master score of over 900 points, which is a pretty difficult thing to do. It can actually be a little, seem a little counterproductive at times to do that, because it's not really something you wouldn't naturally get a score quite that high if you were playing the game in a logical fashion. So throughout this game I'm going to go through some of the things necessary to raise that score and get it so high. Now if you missed last time, we can check TV and see what the weather's going to be like. If you missed last time, you missed the intro story, and so this is the story of a young boy with an angry father and an overprotective mother who goes to live on the farm and take over this old rundown family farm and fix it up. And so that's what we're trying to do. Now I want you guys still to comment, put in the comment section which bachelorette you'd like me to marry in the game. Just let you guys pick, any of them are fine. But we have to get all of them to like us a whole lot anyway if we're going to get that high Master Rancher score. But right now I'm going to show you guys basically what we need to do on a typical day. There's my dog, and ignore him. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give a gift to one of the girls. Now there are flowers up here up in the mountain area. Now that's the carpenter's house, by the way. What's up? How's your work going? It's okay. So anyway, there's flowers here. You can buy flowers at the floor shop, but it's like 300 gold, or you can just come and pick one for free and give it to a girl. So we're gonna give a girl a flower, and we're gonna pick up some seeds to plant while we're in town. So let's start off with, since we'll be at the floor shop anyway, let's start off giving this flower to Nina. And there she is outside, and she loves flowers. Do you like Nina? I love spring when all the flowers start to bloom. Okay. So this is the floor shop. You saw this in the last video when we had to talk to everyone in the town. There's the flower that she sells for 300 gold, and that's just a rip-off. There's a florist lady. Now to buy something, you walk over and you pick it up with the A button. And there are 4 different types of crops you can grow. These are potatoes, and these are turnips. They are spring crops. Since it's spring, we have to grow those. There are also summer crops you can grow, corn and tomatoes, but we have to wait to get those. Now here is grass, and grass is what your cows and, oddly enough, what your chickens eat in the game. So we have to get some grass eventually, and so some if we're going to have livestock, which is really important if we want to make a lot of money later on. So we're going to start off buying, so how much potatoes? 200. We're going to start off buying 2 things of, no, we'll start off buying 1 of potatoes and 1 of turnips. And now when we go back, we can plant those and water them. Now, the important thing we want to do early on in the game is be sure to get some stuff to sell and to ship, normally during the daytime like today, before 5 o'clock, because that's when the shipper comes and he takes the stuff and pays you for it. But we want to hurry up and get it in before he comes. Now today we may not, we're going to try some fishing. And we may not, if things go as planned, we may not get a fish to the shipper today, because I'm going to show you guys how to get your first power berry in the game. You wait until the rod twitches, and you use the Y button to reel it in. That's a boot. You don't want a boot. At one point when I was younger and I was playing this game a lot, I could actually tell by how the rod twitched whether or not it was going to be a fish or not. And I don't remember how I did that. You take the fish, throw it into the pond, and water imp comes out, and he gives you a power berry. And power berries are very important. You take it, you eat it automatically. I've got a berry of power tree. You eat it automatically, and it increases your maximum stamina, how much stamina you can hold. So it's very useful in the game, and really to get your Master Rancher score up, there are 10 in the game. You have to get all 10 of them if you want a high maxed out Master Rancher score. So that's what we're working on. But fish are good to sell. They sell for, I think, 300 gold, which is pretty good, considering, oh no, I gotta hurry. Starting to get later, you can tell by the color change, so hopefully we can get there and sell the fish before the shipment guy comes. Now there's no clock on the game as of right now, but later on in the game, if you can extend your house, you can extend your house a total of twice, upgrade it. If you can extend it before the end of summer, yeah, we got money. If you can extend it before the end of summer, you get a free clock that'll tell you what time it is, and that's pretty useful. Now, what we are going to do, since it is nighttime now, and since at night time does not progress any later than 6 o'clock, we are going to go ahead and get some work done and clear out some land for some crops and for some grazing fields and stuff. Although we're not actually going to graze our cows and stuff, we'll get into that later even. Now the weapons or the tools right now, weapons, I guess you could use them as a weapon, but the tools right now are pretty weak. And you have to take 6 hits to break up the big stuff. Actually, later on in the game, you get a chance. There are certain events that give you the opportunity to upgrade your tools. Now, in the later games, you actually have to pay to upgrade them. You have to buy certain materials and certain metals, bring certain metals to upgrade them. But in this one, it's really event-based, and it's possible to fail the event to where your tools are not upgraded. And if that happens, you have to buy them. But we know how to handle all the events, so we're going to take the events just right. Now, if anybody is wondering, I want to refer you guys real quick. If anybody is wondering how I know like what all is necessary for a Master Rancher score, I actually did not figure all this out on my own. So I want to refer you guys actually to a website that is really useful for this. It is called harvestmoonparadise.com, and I'll put a link to it in the description. But basically anything that you want to know about a Harvest Moon game, Harvest Moon Paradise pretty much has the information on it. It's the most in-depth and the most technical Harvest Moon help site I've ever seen. So you guys go over to Harvest Moon Paradise, join, become a member, join their forum or whatever. But that's really that'll be really useful if you really like the Harvest Moon games. They give you a lot of technical details, especially on some of the older ones like this and Harvest Moon 64. So we've got our places tilled. We're going to till in this particular pattern so that we can access all of everywhere on the crops, the whole crops. We want to do that because once the crops grow, they take up a space, a grid there, and you can't walk past them. So what we want to do is leave a space where we can get to and water and harvest all of them. You can't go diagonal in this game because it's the old Super Nintendo, but we want to allow for access to all of them. So we're going to get our crops in our watering can, well, get our crops at least right now, and go ahead and sow those. Now when you sow your crops, they sow in a 3x3 square with you right in the middle. So what you want to do is stand in the center of it like this. Which one are we going to sow first? That's potatoes. We'll sow turnips first. And do that, and now all the areas that are tilled around me are sowed. And we'll do the same thing with the potatoes here. But it's not enough to sow them. We have to water them every day. Now, unless your crops are ready to be harvested, don't bother with them until after dark. That's my advice to you, because you can water them. Watering them during the day just takes up time that you could be gathering things and shipping things to make money. But watering them at night is just a lot more efficient. Now we have to go over and fill up our watering can with the Y button. And whenever he goes through motions like that, that's indications that his stamina is decreasing. And there's a way to recover stamina. I'll show you here in a minute. And there, when he does that, he's completely out. So we got to go get more stamina. The best place to do that is the hot spring in the mountain. So, going up the mountain. I don't think we've been this far up the mountain yet. Carpenter's house. There's a cave right there. You can get herbs out of it in well, anytime. I think in wintertime is pretty much the only thing you can. If they're even there in winter, I actually don't remember. So we'll come and we'll jump in this. Every time you jump into the hot spring, it recovers 20% of your stamina. So you just jump in and out 5 times, and you've got 100% of your stamina back. So, simple enough. We are going to go back and finish watering our crops, and we will probably, actually while we're here, let's go ahead and take, this is a cheat kinda, we'll take a flower to Eve at the bar. Because the bar is open from 6 on, which is pretty much 6 forever until you go to bed. And so it's actually really easy to woo Eve. You can get her up to a marriageable point in one single night if you want to. But that just kind of takes, away the challenge. But there's actually another challenge later on when you marry her, and we'll get into that later, hopefully. You've come to that haunted ranch. Oh, it's haunted. Okay. She gives you a drink. You do a little funny dance and fall over. Okay, so I guess that flower probably did not count because we hadn't talked to her outside of that first day yet. But um, yeah, the funny thing about this game is being the old Super Nintendo and kind of the innocent, more kids game and kids system, they kind of censor it a little bit in that they don't. What you drink on here is very obviously alcohol because it gives him some, makes him stumble around and funny effects and stuff. And other characters, kind of tend to get drunk when they drink it too. But they don't call it alcohol; they call it juice. It's just kind of this censorship thing that's always really funny in this type of game. Because it's like they're protecting children, but I think it was something that I guess was allowed in Japan, but they wouldn't allow it in America, perhaps. So we got that done, and now we're going to do one more thing before we go to bed for the night, and that is, well, I guess we can do a little bit more work before we run out of time. But let me get this first. I'm going to throw away these because they're completely worthless to me. You do not need fences, okay? They will tell you need fences, but that is not true. You actually do not need them at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start tilling up area for a grassland, for grazing fields. Actually, I probably want to start down here to maximize my space. And now grass you sow in a 3x3 area as well. And grass is actually the most expensive. It's 500 gold. You sow that in a 3x3 area as well, but you can, however, walk on the grass. So it doesn't matter how exactly you sow it. So we're going to come right here and sow our grass. There we go. And let's see, got our watering can, and that's the only item we have, so we'll get our hoe also. Okay. Now actually, you know what, I changed my mind. We've got a little bit of extra time, so I'm just going to go ahead and work on clearing out the land a little bit, just to make it a little more aesthetically pleasing, I suppose. While I'm on it, this game is going to have, just the nature of the game is going to have some empty areas, kind of just some filler, some blank filler time that takes a lot of space up. So what I want you guys to do is either comment in the section and let me know if you just want me to completely, edit out these things and just tell you what I do. In the meantime, either tell me you want that or give me like topics for discussion or something like that I can talk about, because I do, run out of things to say when I'm doing this. So let me know what you guys think about that. So clearing out the land. While I'm doing this, I'll explain to you how part of the Master Rancher score goes. It's based a lot on your ranch development rate, which is based a lot on, your ranch development rate is based on basically the ground area that you have exposed in your ranch. The more space you have actually occupied by something useful, the higher your ranch development rate is. The higher your ranch development rate is, the more that affects your Master Rancher score. So what it is any area that is not actually filled with something is useless. Like this area right here, there's nothing there, even though there's not stumps and weeds and things here. There's nothing here, and so this area is useless. This is hurting my ranch development score right now. If I use a hoe and till up the area, it'll still be worthless, unless I actually have something planted there. Now to get a 100% on your ranch development rate, you have to pretty much have almost every single block, almost every single grid filled with something. Now, it's pretty hard to do that with crops since crops change seasonally, so I mean probably the best thing to do it with, in my opinion, is grass. Grass is expensive and it's something you do over the whole course of the game. It takes a little while to do, but it's something that at least it looks nice, and it's a lot easier than the alternative, which would be crops or fences or something like that you don't need and that just gets in the way. And grass comes back every year too after winter, so you don't have to keep rebuying it and keep refilling it. So anyway, we are starting to run out of time, and so that will be it for Let's Play Harvest Moon today. You guys let me know if you want me to edit out any of the extra work I do at night, the clearing out, things like that, or give me topics for discussion for any time, even when I'm not